Thank you for joining us back from our little break. That was weird.
It was in slow-mo. It's cool.
It was slow-mo. So, Civil War trailer.
Yeah, buddy.
From the big boy.
Civil War trailer dropped. I'm really excited for this movie. And just a few months ago, I was kind of like, yeah, Civil War, it'll be good, you know. But the closer it gets, like, this movie's gonna be really good.
Oh no, I'm ready now.
And I used to be like, all the Iron Man movies were the ones that I super looked forward to. But then whenever Winter Soldier came out, it turned to Captain America.
Yeah, man, those movies are.
That movie's hot, dude.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Dude.
for me, it was always I enjoyed the first Avenger a lot. That was like my favorite. That
Yeah.
first Captain America
Yeah.
movie. Oh shit! And then with
Watch the diet do, man.
yeah, come on now. All right. And then with Winter Soldier, the movie was awesome, but then you had all that fallout that it was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then just the fallout, like, that changed.
It went through
that
the
part of
entire Marvel universe.
Yeah, that was a turning point movie, you know, and the movie was just, it was awesome. Yeah, it was
I mean,
a great movie.
not even just like the fallout from it, just the movie in itself was like.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the directors had said this before, but it was like a 70s espionage movie. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, they even put Robert Redford in it for that specific purpose.
Yeah. It was a great
God,
movie.
it was so good.
It was real good.
And aren't the same guys directing?
The Russos.
Russo
Russo brothers are doing Civil
Civil
War
War.
also.
Indeed.
Man, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to Batman versus Superman because I've always been a DC guy, and Batman and Superman have always been my main two.
But my God.
But I gotta say, I'm actually a little bit more excited for Civil War.
Well, you got. I mean, this is huge because you got all. You're finally to a point now where you have a lot of cinematic characters. You know, aside from the Avengers, like the core Avengers, like you have a pretty good amount now, and you're gonna see these people fighting, and then, somebody shows up at the end of the trailer.
Indeed,
Was
sir.
it Giant Man?
Underoos!
Up top, Underoos. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
That was great.
Oh my God, it was
Great
the best
Spider-Man
thing ever.
movies, man. That was awesome.
And the suit.
Looks
Fucking classic as shit.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from like the little, like
Oh,
flares, the little black stripes.
Yeah.
Every so often.
I noticed that.
And it's got like the little tiny little black spider
Yeah.
symbol on the front, just
I
like
think it's
old
real
school.
classic.
He got the
like-
web cartridges on his belt.
And just
Oh,
like
he did. I
Yeah.
didn't even notice that.
and just like Deadpool.
The
like
eyes.
Deadpool's eyes. I mean, like they were white,
Yeah.
but I mean they were expressive, and like whenever his eyes widened, Deadpool's white eyes widened. They do the same thing with Spider-Man. Just
That's
like in the
cool.
comic books, like whenever he's surprised, the whites go.
yeah.
Whenever he's mad, they go tiny.
Do you think it serves some sort of function?
I'd seen like whenever they do close-ups of that actual shot, which it looks to be mostly, if possibly all CG.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like a camera aperture.
That's what I thought.
Because it makes the zoom in
for
sound.
lenses.
It makes the sound when he did it.
Oh, it does.
Literally, you can hear like a. zzz.
Okay, I didn't even notice that.
I've watched the trailer a lot.
And you've also got like 3D surround and a gigantic like LCD TV.
Yeah.
Dude, whenever they drop a trailer, I gotta fucking turn the surround sound on. Get on YouTube, crank it.
Like in the black lenses on his eyes, I mean, it actually looks like the
Yeah, like
whatever you call it, like the camera aperture where it's got
Yeah.
like the progressive like lenses that get.
that's what I thought it looked like. I thought that was a neat
It explains it,
added thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was really cool.
and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, totally undoable in like the real world in spandex, but I mean, for that universe, it makes sense.
So when Spider-Man shows up in the trailer, he's already associated with Tony.
Tony, yep.
So do you think
He's on Team Cap. No, God damn it. Team Iron Man.
So do you think that
Opposite.
that this is like the suit that we saw? Do you think we might see a different one? Like,
I hope so.
You think they're gonna go Iron Spider?
well, Iron Spider. Oh man, that would be cool. Yeah, but do you think that they'll even have a more classic suit, like something teenage boy could make, kind of thing?
I think it'll be just.
I think this might just be the suit. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think that they might do the Iron Spider. I think it'll just.
I hope they
the
don't.
Spider-Man
I hope
suit
it's
all
just
the time.
this.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to try to go that deep into the comic book lore and mythology with it.
Yeah.
It's keep it simple. A lot of people have not read the Civil War comic book. I mean, a lot more people now have just because of this movie coming out. But there's still going to be more people have not read it than have.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it just start confusing people.
Yeah. That would be just straight fan service, probably
Yeah.
more or less.
Speaking of fan service, dude, when they show the fight in a little bit, Hawkeye launches the arrow, and Ant-Man is on the arrow.
Oh, man, I forgot about
And
that.
then he I think he jumps on I think it was Tony in that real quick zoom in scene. But just the fact that they did that, man, where I got so excited.
And I keep forgetting that Ant-Man's in the movie at all.
Well, he's Team
yeah.
Cap, son.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of slips my mind too at sometimes.
'Cause I still haven't seen Ant-Man, still haven't seen Avengers 2, which I really need to watch those before
Mm-hmm.
Cap 3.
Yeah. Ant-Man's great, dude.
Yeah,
I love
it
Ant-Man.
was good. I've watched it, I think, a couple times now. It's good. Avengers 2 was good. I thought that was okay. I didn't like it quite as much.
I think I'm about halfway through the universe as far as doing them in order. The last one I watched was The Avengers.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta watch Iron Man 3 next. Yeah, yep. Because that was the first. That's why Iron Man 3 is on the top 10, because it was the movie that came out after Avengers, so everybody wanted to see it.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited. I'm really excited now after that trailer. I'm really excited now.
How about Cap?
I can do this all day. Oh my god.
I can do this all day, dude.
And
Straight shout out to the first movie.
exactly.
I was like,
getting ready
what?
To say that.
Yeah,
I can do this all day. I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, they did that the first movie.
I didn't even notice that until I saw some screen cap on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere. They had him scrawny before the whole experiment.
all day.
Whenever he's getting roughed up by the hooligans in the alley,
Hooligans.
and then
And Bucky comes and saves.
the Bucky does.
and then
Yeah.
it shows the same thing. It's
Yeah,
he's
it was
fucking Captain
badass.
America. It's man,
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
bringing it full circle, man.
Yeah, dude.
That was super awesome.
And I never would have guessed that I would like Chris Evans so much as Captain America.
Oh, God,
when they
yes.
first when he was first announced for the first one.
Oh man, whenever he was first announced, really the only thing that I knew him from, other than the Fantastic Four movies that I don't think I'd seen at that point, was Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
knew him from that too.
That
yeah.
guy?
Right. And I did know him from the Fantastic Four movies, and I was like, that guy's already Johnny Storm. I was like, I don't know, man, I don't see it. But then, dude, forget about it.
Yep.
They couldn't have picked anybody else to do it better than him.
Dude, weird connection. The main girl in Not Another Teen Movie is Supergirl's sister in the TV show.
Comic book movies and TV shows taking over.
Yeah, definitely. They're everywhere.
Man.
Plus, dude, we really got to see Black Panther, just
Yeah.
owning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
There was
God,
a lot
dude.
more Black Panther.
Dude, there's that shot where the helicopter is shooting at him, and he's just like, "What's up?" He doesn't even give it. There's no. Pardon my French. There's no fucks to give, and that's
Oh, I mean, do you think his suit is made
Yeah.
of vibranium? Since
Yeah.
mean, you saw the bullets
Yeah.
bouncing off of it.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
to be vibranium.
Yeah.
So, you've watched the trailer a lot more than I have. Does he throw out any vibranium or have any projectiles?
They didn't show that. All you see him. He chases down Bucky, and Bucky's on a motorcycle. He runs him down.
Yeah.
He jumps off. You see him climb onto a car because they're running in traffic, and he climbs on the car and then pounces off of the car
And just,
swipes the back tire of the motorcycle.
Oh my gosh.
And then you see that
man,
the
that was
scene
so
where
awesome.
he's getting shot at by the helicopter.
Yeah.
And you get to see him without the suit on too. I thought that was really cool.
He did win.
When the building's blowing up, the black guy in the trailer that's just like in a suit and he's like all in pain. I'm pretty sure that's
I
T'Challa.
was just looking for Black Panther.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I think I've only watched it maybe like twice.
Because the thing, if I remember correctly, why they're so hard on getting Bucky is there was a bombing at the UN, and Bucky's getting the blame for it.
Okay.
He might have done it, but at the same time, somebody like might be framing the Winter Soldier for that attack at the UN, and
Right.
he's there when it happens. So I think that's what his motivation for going after Winter Soldier.
Crossbones is still in the movie too.
Yeah, they showed him.
Yeah.
He
They
looks.
haven't really shown like any of like the villains. They've just shown like.
Well, he looks like I think he's in the
Avengers versus
trailer.
Avengers.
I'm pretty sure it's him. It looks like a. I mean, not as rough, but pretty close to like Mark 1 Iron Man suit. It's like big and kind of silly looking. I'm pretty sure it's him.
You guys might know, but is Don Cheadle?
Yeah,
What is his
Yeah.
character's name?
Don Cheadle.
No, what is his
Oh,
character?
Jim Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhodey.
Is he supposed to die?
Maybe
I mean, there's that scene.
they're implying it.
you
Did you
know.
hear the scene? I hope they don't.
Well,
That might be the.
that might be the big death.
the big growing guy in the book died.
Giant Man.
That was Giant
And
Man.
that was like the spark of
that
the
was
Civil War.
that must have been a later Giant Man, like a right,
Yeah.
right,
What?
something down the road. Yeah. But he died, right?
Was that Hank Pym
died.
though?
No,
No,
it was
no.
later Giant Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Giant Man's the one who died in some kind of like the Young Avengers or some other like smaller, younger team was there. He died, and the shit hit the fan.
No, what in the
They're like,
beginning?
we've got to register you guys. You guys have to be known so we know what you guys are doing all the time.
Well,
And that's like
The
what
beginning
sparked
of the
all that.
book was like
that was
a
the
teen
school.
a Teen Titanish group,
yeah.
and like the one chick was like she could go like Nova or nuclear or whatever, and it got out of control and she blew up in
Okay.
in a neighborhood.
school.
Yeah,
It was like right
Okay.
next
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then
Okay,
that's when
okay,
they started
okay,
registering.
Yeah.
okay.
They started warring. I don't remember whose side Giant Man was on. Maybe he was on Cap's side. I'm not sure.
it's been a long time
But-
since I read it.
Somebody killed him, and that drove a further wedge between them. And I think like at that point it was like, this is fucking on. Like we're gonna do this for real.
Yeah.
Like, kind of shit. You know. I think up until that point people were still choosing sides, and then once Homeboy died, everybody's like, this is definite. We're going to war. Kind
Like-
of thing.
In the comics, that was like a huge thing with Marvel for years, and actually kind of still is. I mean, they're getting ready to do Civil War 2 again. So,
Yeah.
what's like a big character do you think is going to bite the dust if they do take that route?
I don't know. I mean,
Because Chris Evans is near the end of his original contract. We don't know if he signed another one.
Then Downey done?
Downey has basically said like, this is my Iron Man 4.
Yeah.
So I think after this he's maybe not necessarily done, but
Until that Disney dump truck
taking a back
pulls up the front yard and
Yeah.
starts dumping more cash in there.
pulls up with the dump trucks. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
They want us to think Rhodey is in trouble. I mean, you can look at it either way, but that
I think it's got to be somebody bigger than that. I mean, in
For-
Civil
for-
War,
for
Captain
Tony, though?
America died.
But like for Tony though, like if Rhodey died, Tony would be all in
But then
with
if he
whooping
died,
some ass.
But if he died, wouldn't you think that Tony would be like pretty much one of the main characters in the Marvel movies going forward? If that was a catalyst for something for like the next phase in Marvel?
Oh, is this the end of a phase? Are we starting a phase now again? I
I
don't.
mean, I think this is just a big shift in the way that the Marvel movies are going to be going forward.
What's next?
If
I think
they
this-
follow somewhat of the same tone that the Marvel comic book storyline took,
I
which
think
they don't have to.
I think this is going to this is what reshapes that Avengers team as far as the team goes. Like for the next movies coming up, I think this is the end of this phase. I don't think Avengers was the end of that phase. I might be wrong though. I wanted to say that there was something about Civil War. Maybe it was the beginning, like you're saying, like the beginning of this first phase. But it was like something after Avengers and after Civil War, like the Avengers team is going to be a completely different team kind of thing. And you start to get that.
Well, I would assume after this is over, we'll have a different team.
Yeah, yeah. And so I mean,
People
that
might be just
even-
walking away, or people are going to start
Yeah,
murking some folks.
yeah. That might mean that
Murky
Either-
Ferks.
Tony gets killed, or or just walks away from it, or Crossbones kills Cap, and then you have the whole death of America. Bucky becomes Cap.
I want Steve Rogers to die. That sounded way too morbid than I originally intended. But for the story purposes in the movie, I want Steve to die. I want Bucky to take over. And I want Steve Epting to write some kind of treatment for a script for the next Captain America movie and have Bucky be in it. Because Sebastian Stan still has like 3 movies in his contract.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, word. No, that would be great. I think they'll probably go that route. I mean,
Not Steve Epting. Shit, he was the artist.
Ed
Brubaker. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they might go that route. I think is very plausible since they've already introduced Winter Soldier and all of that stuff. And like you said, Chris Evans' contract, even though he's like, come on, man, I'll keep playing with Captain America.
and they could keep playing him as Captain America. Do throw some kind of Deus Ex Machina in where the super soldier serum regresses or stops being effective,
Sure.
and he turns into Old Man Cap.
Yeah, they could do that.
And then have Clint Eastwood play Steve Rogers.
God. Oh man, that would be awesome. Me like
You
it.
heard it here first.
What so this, and then I guess what, Thor's next, right?
I think that's
Ragnarok's in November or whatever.
Ragnarok. And then, God, dude, what's after Thor 3?
Guardians
Gotta be coming
is
up.
next year.
Guardians 2, which I mean,
Doctor
I know
Strange got to be coming.
Doctor Strange is next year.
Yeah, that's the one that I keep forgetting about. Because I mean, Guardians. I mean, it's a Marvel movie, but it's
Yo, Sylvester
Guardian movies
Stallone's
are
in that
completely
shit
removed from the regular Marvel movies.
right now until they get to
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet.
No.
And then it's all on.
Space stuff.
Infinity War
Space.
two-parter.
The final frontier.
Base.
So Henry just chimed in and said there's a Reddit photo that some dude found during the scene where Cap is fighting Iron Man. Bucky is on the ground with his arm torn off, his metal arm gone.
Word.
So there's some tidbits there. Things gonna get serious.
That kind of goes into the Fear Itself event that Marvel did, where Bucky got his arm torn off, because I think he and Steve were both Captain America during Fear Itself, and Bucky got his arm torn off or was quote unquote killed or something. I never read the arc because I didn't hear a whole lot of good things about it, but I think something similar to that possibly might have happened during the Fear Itself, and that was like a whole Thor, Hammer, Asgardian centered.
I didn't read that, but I remember I saw a lot of Thor stuff happening.
So maybe they might be mixing a little bit of that in and kind of leading into Thor 3.
So Thor is not in this at all, right? He's not going to be like even a small tidbit
weird.
or anything.
That's weird.
Thor and as far as I know,
No clones.
I don't think Bruce is in it either.
Which there was the whole Thor.
They might be
theory
doing-
going with Avengers 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because whenever he like out of the water in one of the trailers, they were like, "Oh, well, did Cloney?
Cloney. That's just
Tony actually clone
Cloney.
Thor?"
Oh, Cloney.
We need to have a segment going from now on called Cloney. Let's just talk about shitty clones.
That was a long segment about clones just then.
Yeah, that was all the shitty clones.
I sat there for 3 seconds trying to find one in my brain. Nope, not there.
Ben Raleigh.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
That's about
that's one.
2 years worth of Spider-Man stories we could talk about for a long time.
But no, man, I watched this movie. I've been watching all the Marvel movies leading up to it. I was ready for it. Man, now I'm like, let's go.
There's so much in the movie.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be neat to see how they fit it all in. I don't think they're gonna do like anything. I'm not worried about them like doing anything wrong or rushing anything.
no. It's like 240 or something like that was the runtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
but
It's between 2.5 and 3 hours.
There's a
That's
lot.
That's almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Hell yeah.
there's a lot of story to fit in. I mean, because like you said just a minute ago, they've barely even shown the damn villain or any of the villains. The only one I know about is Crossbones.
Yeah.
I mean, is there another one? Have you seen?
I would say, what's his face? The general.
Oh,
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
Yes.
General Ross.
Ross. Yeah.
I mean, will be some kind of linchpin in there.
I don't think he's necessarily going to be a villain. I think just.
What do
he's
we
gonna
need
be
a villain in
kinda
this,
like
though?
I think he's going to be more of a
Does-
catalyst for.
Does there need to be like a villain though?
Well, that's-
I don't
Because Civil War is about them
that-
fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a.
Bah!
That's the
Stop
thing.
hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Some jumped up and bit you.
You don't need a villain, but there's one in there, and like, why is he in there? Kind of thing. So like,
He's probably working for Ross.
There's all of that story to tell. There's all of the Civil War story, and then you got to have like a pretty good introduction to Spider-Man and who he is. So you got.
So here's
tell,
the
too.
thing with, I mean, where does that character go from this movie? Like after this movie,
Who?
the
Spider-Man.
Oh.
So you mean
Into
does
his
he
own
get his
movie.
own movie?
Right, but
he
that's
does.
a Sony movie though, right?
No, it's a Marvel movie.
What?
No, Marvel's doing a Spider-Man movie.
I just thought Sony was just letting them borrow him
No,
for
Sony
this.
might be doing
and
a
then-
Venom movie that doesn't have Spider-Man in it for whatever.
But so they're just giving Marvel Spider-Man now.
yeah, but getting a shitload of money back for it.
I don't know what.
That's what
the
they
deal-
did.
No, I'm fine with that.
No,
I
I mean,
thought
I know.
Sony-
I know what you're talking about. Cause
I was
think
under the
I've heard
impression that we
something
would
about
get
that
like
too.
we would get him in this movie, and then they would take that, and then Sony would go
Basically, what
and
happened
burn
was,
that to the ground with
Ba-
another Spider-Man movie.
What happened was Marvel sold the movie rights for Spider-Man to Sony.
Right.
Now Sony is basically licensing Marvel's movie rights for their own character back to them to make movies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
No,
I was worried about it.
I do know what you're talking about because I feel like I read somewhere where like he was on loan or something.
That's what I thought it was like.
to an extent, you know. What
No,
I mean?
He's
I
the
mean,
cameo,
Sony is
and then
licensing their own. Sony is licensing Marvel's own character to them to make movies because Sony owns the rights to a cinematic Spider-Man character.
Right.
Because whenever Marvel was going through bankruptcy, they started just fucking blasting
Fire
that
sale.
shit out and say, "Hey, you want rights to this? You want rights to this?"
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel is 100% making a Spider-Man movie.
Oh my God.
It's in the works.
I'm gonna
And
need.
Tom Holland is still in the role.
I'm gonna need
So what would-
the Guardians to show up in there.
Oh. Okay. Yep.
Star Lord and Spider-Man like high fiving. Come
That
on.
would be sick. Yeah. Even the Ultimate Spider-Man episode where the Guardians showed up was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It was really good.
You guys have read a lot more Spider-Man than I have. I'm only really familiar with from the TV show. What would be like your ideal Spider-Man movie at this point? I mean, would you want to rehash anything that's already been done because there's already
God.
been so much that's been done,
Jesus.
not done very well,
Right.
like, so what would you do that wouldn't feel like it's well, that's what they did in this one, or this is, you know?
God, that's gonna take some thinking.
I mean,
Considering he's already a somewhat established character in New York, at least, because I mean he's
I like how.
You gotta have some
here.
staples. He's gonna live with Aunt May. He's gonna be,
But
Uncle Ben's gonna be dead, and
Yeah.
all of that. Sort
that
of
should
stuff.
already be gone. That's done.
Oh, so you're saying it should already be like when we find out this character, all of this is already
All
happened.
the Uncle Ben thing. We don't need to know about it again.
Well, I don't think they'll do that in Civil War, but they may do it. In
They don't need
his
to do it
movie.
again. They've done it 3 times already.
That's what I'm saying. Like that with this particular character, he's already had 5
yeah.
movies where they've sort of fleshed out characters and fleshed this character out. What do you do with him?
This isn't really going to go well with probably most people that are watching this that know anything about Spider-Man comics or any storylines, but the Clone Saga with Ben Reilly and the Jackal and all that stuff. But do not make it a clone.
Oh.
I mean, it'd basically be the storyline of the Clone Saga, but he's not a clone. don't do it that kitschy and that fucking comic booky and bullshitty.
Mm-hmm.
Have Ben Riley be, is this a long lost brother? Is it a fucking scam?
So what
Do
is
you like
what's the premise here?
Unsolved mysteries kind of shit.
What was the premise behind the original comic book storyline?
Oh, God.
Now, you don't have to get too in detail, but
There was this one scientist who turned himself into a werewolf that then cloned Peter Parker. His clone was lost for a long time, then came back, but then the clone was the real Peter Parker, and Peter Parker was the clone.
Oh, so it just got like sort of
And then-
convoluted.
And then
Was
Peter
that when we got
Peter
Scarlet
Parker
Spider?
went off, yeah.
Okay.
And then Peter Parker went off and just disappeared for a little while. The clone was the real Spider-Man, changed costumes, then Peter Parker came back because he learned that he was the real Peter Parker, and then Ben Riley, the
Still with
clone,
us?
I think either died or something. I can't remember what happened to Ben Riley.
Some kind of bone.
So that's
It's really fucking convoluted and bullshitty, which is why I said, like, people probably won't like this who understand what the clone
But this
saga was about.
This is definitely a story though that, I mean, you haven't seen before.
But you could take it into like an unsolved mysteries kind of thing, like, hey, he's got a long lost brother who all of a sudden comes into the picture. Has he been mind wiped? Is he like a sleeper agent? What the fuck is he? But don't make him a clone.
Yeah.
Just make it like real life, kind of like a murder mystery, long lost sibling kind of thing.
I just had an idea, right? So the cartoon that I watched, right, like I said, I'm familiar with them via the cartoons. Both of those cartoons that I've watched, Ultimate Spider-Man and the old school one, were always like real big on a lot of Marvel characters and having an asslet of Marvel characters in there. So then, like, what if, like, that movie, for instance, what if he just shows up in Hell's Kitchen or something?
That's what
You know? And there's like lots of cameos from different things because that's what was part of how people knew
That'd be awesome
Spider-Man.
as shit.
You know, because people like me, for instance, I know Spider-Man and I know all of these other Marvel characters through Spider-Man because
And that's
there are all
what-
these characters always in this show.
That's what most people know of Spider-Man.
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not like the Clone Wars bullshit that people that only read the comics would know, and it's stupid and confusing as fuck. Most people that know Spider-Man, that's a lot. I mean, like, that's the avenue that a lot of people know about Spider-Man.
Mhm.
That'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and just have like a lot of. I don't know how. Then here again, I'm just thinking about like heroes, but I guess, you know, I don't know what they would do as far as villains. That's where for me.
If they could go like if we got to that point where the Spider-Man movie is happening and we've got several seasons of their shows established, I think it'd be really cool if they had Daredevil and Punisher in there. Dude, Craven, man, that'd be really neat.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
No, there
that'd
you go.
be
You
a
just hit the
good-
nail on
Yeah.
the head, man. If they did, what was that? Craven's Last Hunt?
Yeah.
That run right there. I've read that. That was
Where
awesome.
they got the tombstone on the
Yeah.
cover and Spider-Man's hand coming through and everything.
No, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. They should definitely do Craven because you haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
That's what I'm
That
trying
would be really cool.
to sit there and think of what we haven't seen yet that
Yeah.
could still like,
He's a good fucking character,
yeah.
too.
Or they could put Mysterio in there. Have you ever seen him?
Oh, God,
Mysterio,
Mysterio.
too.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good one too.
And that'd be really cool with now, especially with the technology that we have. We can do all the illusions and stuff.
I think the thing is, just don't do the thing.
Those hollow cubes.
Don't do Green Goblin again.
Don't
I
do
was
Green
so
Goblin.
I was so
Don't
upset
do
when they did
Venom.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
do Sandman.
Yeah, yeah,
I shouldn't have done Sandman in the
Well,
first place.
Don't do Dr. Octopus.
yeah.
I mean, Dr. Octopus was
Alfred
Spider-Man
Molina.
2. I think that's about as good as you can do as a Spider-Man Doc Ock storyline.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. That's Sam Raimi.
He did all three of them.
Oh, he did. I didn't know he did the first one.
Well, Sony did the third one.
Oh.
Yeah, they were breaking both of his arms.
Sony Studios directed the third Spider-Man
Yeah.
movie.
Anyway, but yeah, so Craven I think would be a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good choice.
Yeah.
Um,
Good.
Again, like if they got the Netflix in there, man, him and Wilson Fisk butted heads a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Mhm.
That's where Smythe comes in.
That's where Smythe comes in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
What about the mystical part? What was that old lady?
Madam Web.
Madam Web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all that about? I never did understand it because I'd always catch random episodes.
Bring her fucking into the Doctor Strange movie, or the Netflix
Iron Fist.
Iron
Their
Fist stuff.
stuff.
Whenever they start bringing in the mystical stuff, just
Well, I
bring
think-
her in so that if you do want to use her in any of this stuff, she's already in the universe.
Is she just like a Doctor Strange type of character? She's just a magic wielder sort of thing.
That's-
I never did understand it because
Yeah.
Alan knows
only
more
caught-
about
I-
Spider-Man.
I only caught
The
random
Madam Web
episodes.
stuff's weird, man. I don't even know. Like,
Yeah, I only caught.
I don't
random
really-
things about it, man.
It's weird.
I didn't like. I guess you'd have to go to the comics for it because
Yeah.
if you just watch the '90s show, they don't really go into.
They don't. She's just a thing
She's
already.
just there.
She's trying to prepare him for Secret Wars, like the whole time,
yeah.
getting him ready. I think was like her main purpose. From what I
The real
remember.
Secret Wars, not this bullshit that came out recently.
Recently.
That's not bullshit. From what I understand, it was a pretty good story, and a local writer wrote that entire thing.
That's right.
Jonathan Hickman, Florence native. Florence.
So that Crave would be cool. Mysterio, we hadn't seen him. He's got some cool stuff. I mean, if we're just getting crazy talk, we could do Morpheus, and then Blade could be in the movie with him.
Oh God, Blade. Yeah. Actually, Henry chimed in again
About Morpheus?
About yeah. And he said he'd
The
be down.
living vampire.
He'd be down for a Morbius movie where
Yeah, dude.
Spider-Man gets 6 arms.
No, a man spider.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Henry
I thought he's a
loves
cool-
him some Morpheus.
Morbius is a cool character, man.
Not Morpheus? Yeah, I said Morpheus. Morbius.
Yeah.
He probably Morpheus is cool too.
I think done right,
He's okay.
Actually, be a cool character.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no clue with him from the comic book. I don't know what he is, but maybe because he was on a kid's television show, he couldn't suck blood. I think he would just like.
Well, no, they couldn't do.
I think it was because of the comics code.
Yep, the comics code.
Back in the day.
Yep.
It was
Okay.
introduced.
He couldn't. Yeah. That's why he's the living vampire because they didn't have like dead things, from what I remember. Henry could probably
Thanks a
explain
lot,
it a lot
McCarthy.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And that would be cool if they treated his part like a vampire horror type of.
I think that'd be cool, man.
And then Blade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm all about getting some Blade back.
Yeah.
The first movie, Guillermo del Toro.
The
No.
second one,
Second one.
Blade 2.
First movie and second movie. Guillermo del Toro in the second movie. Really good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Deadpool in
just
the
watched
third
the first one.
it's Triple H is in the third one too.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a vampire, and he's got a little vampire Pomeranian dog.
Of course
And it's got it's the where their mouth opens like crazy, like in Blade 2. It's got that on there. They did that with the Pomeranian. Chameleon would be cool.
That's terrifying. Oh, chameleon.
That'd be cool.
Oh, shit. You could go into like whole mystery,
I mean, yeah,
kind of shit with that.
they got some. I mean, I don't know. I hope they just don't. I'd like to see somebody they haven't done.
Yeah, I think everybody would, man.
I just don't want. I don't want to see another fucking origin story.
I don't either.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need it. We don't need it.
You're right. I hope they maybe just like breeze through the origin in Civil War, and then maybe that's it. You know
It's
what
like
I mean?
DC actually did something good with Batman Superman.
With
Batman's in the
Batman.
movie.
Yeah.
That's it. You all fucking know who Batman is. He's here. All right, let's go.
Well, we haven't seen the movie yet, though.
I mean, I'm sure they're gonna do some kind of fucking
It'll probably-
flashback with him
Yeah.
showing him in the alley.
They're gonna show the alley
Pearl
because
and
they
all that good stuff.
what's his face? Freaking the comedian Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's Thomas Wayne.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. I
did
forget.
not
I
know
forget
that.
who they got for Martha, but it's somebody I can't remember.
Damn. I
But
didn't even know that.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is
That's awesome.
is Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess they'll do some sort of flashback.
Which that's fine. I mean, showing
Sure.
like a 1 or 2 minute flashback thing, that's fine.
Mhm.
Don't spend half of a movie like Batman Begins did on a fucking origin. Which Batman movie is a phenomenal movie.
Mhm.
I mean, they were rebooting the whole thing for that trilogy. That's
It made
fine.
sense for that. Yeah,
Exactly. It made sense for that.
but we've
But
had
now we've had 3 fucking iterations of this. Don't do it again.
They didn't even really give an origin, like a origin. Like, well, I guess sort of they did with the '89 Batman movie. I mean, it was all like flashbacks sort of thing, but
Yeah.
it wasn't focused on that. Like,
Right.
you just was like, okay, this happened to him, and He's fucked up from it, and that's why he's Batman.
Right.
Okay. Kind of like that. I imagine it might be something like that. Maybe not even that much, because Civil War has a lot to shit to fit in it,
Yeah.
So if they do any sort of Spider-Man origin, it's got to be like,
I think it's going to be.
this guy's uncle died.
I really hope
No,
they don't.
I think it's. Honestly, I think it's going to be. Hey, Tony Stark's probably been following him for a while, and vice versa, because he's an up and coming scientist, and he's probably been following Iron Man since he was a child.
Yeah.
He's
They're
gonna
both fucking nerds.
he's gonna find out about Spider-Man somehow, and then he's gonna be like, Yobi, let me throw some of that Tony Stark money at you. I'll give you all access passes to the research labs and all that stuff, and that's probably gonna be about it. And then we'll see him under ruse.
Right.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll establish his character, they'll establish that he's in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and his name's Peter Parker. And hopefully that'll be about it.
Because everybody knows the story of Spider-Man. We don't need to do this for a fourth time.
So Craven, Morbius, Chameleon, be cool. Who else? Shocker. Just have him as like the shitty villain that like gets beat up. Like just so I can see Shocker in a live action movie. She'd be like, I got you guys. I'm like, no, you suck, dude.
I just want the term to come back. I just want the term to come back from the early 2000s.
Shocker.
Yes, we all know.
And with that, I think we need to wrap it up on that note of the shocker.
2 in the pink.
Thank you for listening to the podcast, the YouTube video, and on Periscope if you guys are watching. Remember to check us out on the website if you want to listen to or watch any of our video casts or podcast, www.thegeekyest.com. We're on Twitter at thegeekyest, facebook.com/thegeekyest. Hit us up on our email if you want to shoot us a line and ask us any questions or anything. thegeekyest@gmail.com.
Yep, that's it.
That took a second.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. And remember to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and whatever podcast app you use. And if you're on iTunes, remember to click that review button and give us a star rating however you think you like us, because it helps us a lot getting our stuff out there and making sure more people see it. So if you like it, make sure more people that might like it can see it. And
Yes.
That being said, I'm Bert.
I'm Alan.
I'm Jeff.
We're the Geekiest. We will see you guys next week.